Alright guys, how's it going this evening? It's about, I don't know, quarter to, 8, maybe 8:30, quarter to 9, somewhere around there, I don't know. Forgot to check the clock on my phone before making this video, but no big deal. Let me get some lights going here for you. There, I can look at my ugly face a little better this way. So, gosh, I definitely gotta take a shower tonight. Probably got all kinds of dirty shit on my face and everything. Some of it don't taste very good, but yeah. So, I guess I'm on the manhunt. I got the sickle bar cutter in here that goes on the little farm maul. This needs work of all kinds. I need to it needs to be blown off because it's got crap on it from when the roof caved in and whatever else. So, yeah. So, I was looking for the parts to fix this. Now, my great-grandparents had a little box in the building that had some mowing parts in it, but it doesn't have everything. So I don't know. I'm trying to think like my grandpa would, my great-grandpa, and you would put everything in one building. You know, since the little tractor sat in that little white building, that's where I found this too. It was laying on the floor. I figured, okay, well, that's where you're going to put all your mowing parts. Ow, it already cut me. Damn it. So, yeah, I don't even know how wide this stinking thing is. It's not very wide. I should measure it, I guess, just to see, but it's hard to think that that's what the grandparents mostly farmed with. Well, I think that's really the only thing they farmed with up until their retirement. So, but I don't know, supposedly when the old timer was alive, apparently he helped them out too, but I kind of doubt it. But I don't know, I'm not going to argue with the man, and he's dead now anyway, so not going to really know. Okay, well, it's not going to be 100% accurate, but it'll give you a rough idea how wide this stupid thing is. So, yeah, it would be a little over a 5 foot. Looks like a 64.5 inch, but it's not exactly accurate either. So it's got to be a 5 foot. So not a very wide mower, but I guess it's big enough for. Come on. It was good enough, I guess, for their use. Let that stupid truck go by. So, yeah, I'll get that damn, I don't know what the hell that was. Either a Western Star or a Peterbilt. Looked more like a Western Star, but I don't see too many Western Stars around here. So, but, yeah, so I found that, and then that box full of parts. I'm gonna just let that sit outside for tonight. That thing weighs about the same as this freaking cutter bar. But then I struck gold. I don't really want to touch it because it's got rat piss and stuff all over it. But yeah, be a good boy and roll that fucking coal. It's better than driving those pussy sticks. So, or I'm sorry, those electric cars. Yeah, they're pussy sticks either way. So, these gloves are. Come on. So, okay, how do I get this out of here now without fucking destroying it? Because I only got one of these. So, I didn't think I was ever going to find this. Apparently my uncle knew it was there, but he didn't know I was looking for it, and I kind of was, but kind of wasn't. But then I was like, well, it would help if I had something to go off of. And don't worry about the shitty camera work here. We'll do better here in a minute. But of course, the frickin' mice have had their way with it, of course. But what are you gonna do, right? So, yeah, I got one more thing I gotta grab. So I'm gonna let it sit in the shop though for a couple days because, like I said, it smells like rat piss and stuff you probably don't want to breathe in. If not, I'll probably be dead because I'm breathing it in. But, ow. So, yeah. Okay, let me get my glove off. These belong on the wheeler anyway, so they can just stay here. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Thank you. Okay. Struck gold. What did I struck gold on? The motherfucking operator's book for the goddamn mower.
No way.
I found it, but unfortunately it looks like it is missing a couple of pages. It looks like it's missing the cover. I don't want to touch it with my bare hands because, like I said, it's got rat piss and stuff all over it and it stinks. So I'm gonna let it sit here on the counter or whatever the frick your workbench. Let it sit here for a few days. Let it kind of just air out. So don't, because it's going to be in a clean building now. It's not going to be in that dirty building. And once I let this air out, which will probably take a few days, we're going to study this book. This book has part numbers to the mower. So I'm hoping somewhere in here it'll have that valve thing. Because if I could find the part number for that valve, the exhaust valve, that would probably help me try to locate one. And another thing I'm looking for is the make and the model of this mower. Now, even though this book is pretty mangled, there's probably at least a 60% chance I could find a copy of a original one. It'll just be in black and white instead of this, but it'll be a copy of the original. This is obviously is a original, but it's in pretty sad condition. It's not, you're not going to be hanging it on your wall, and you're not going to be selling it for $1 million. It's, yeah, she's pretty beat up. So I'm just going to let that sit there and percolate and let it air out and not stink so damn bad. And then when it airs out, then we can go through. Because, finding those parts are probably going to be pretty hard now. Because I imagine nobody's making these parts anymore. And if they are, it's probably very rare. Or it's going to be very hard to find them. Especially sitting at like a warehouse or something like that, right? But I did notice, though, that some of the parts that were in that box, and I'm about 90% sure that they were for this mower, were made up in Canada. So I kind of wonder if the machine is not built in Canada, if it's not a Canadian machine. It kind of would make sense, given that we're so close to the border, that we could easily get... Now, back then it was easy to get stuff trucked across the border. Not like today, it's a pain in the ass. But the only reason why this one, I need new sickles. I think the ones on this one are going to be okay. But I won't know until I look through this more. But I need to put this outside, get the air put on it, blow it off, clean it off, whatever. But it has some of these parts, which are, I guess, guides or whatever. They stop to bar the sickle from bending up. You got to adjust all that, and the probably would be in that book too. But I imagine it's all set to the way it should be anyway. But I noticed that on this mower that it's like what the old timer had with his swather. When you want to replace the sickles, you got to pound in these little stupid pins and you got to mushroom the heads. They're not like the young guys swather where they're bolt on. So this is going to be a pain in the ass because, I mean, I think the sickles and the mushy pin things, that still might be common to find them. If they'll fit to this old Moore, I have no clue. But I could easily, if I could find the original part numbers and maybe go online and see if I can cross match them to maybe some newer style stuff, that maybe it would fit on this older stuff. Because that's how they do it now with parts for tractors, like Steiner's. They got their own part numbers, but they match it up to International's part numbers or whatever tractor you're dealing with. So then it'll fit your tractor if it has your part number on it, listed. So finding, finding those parts are going to be interesting, but I think there's at least one tooth here that's definitely questionable. It looks like it hit a rock or something at one point. It looks like even in the box, he had some of these things laying in there, but they're all freaking wore out. He had shoes that I guess would ride on the end. That's what would stop that thing from digging into the ground. There's one that's just so wore out, there's never no reusing it. I don't even know if you could use it to make a copy. I mean, if you went to a fab shop or something, I don't know if they could fabricate a new one. And then there's one that's questionable. And then there was a part in there, I'm trying to remember now, but I think it was these rock guards. There's one that was snapped clean in half. It looks like they're bolted on right here. That's what these bolts are for. Because I remember the old timer, he had to take his off too because they would break randomly. So, and then it looks like, okay. I'm figuring this out as I go along. I noticed that in the box there were some shims, which are just some very tiny flat pieces of metal. Well, when you look under these guys, I see those exact same things. So I'm guessing if you had to adjust your stops, that stop your cutter from binding or bending or whatever, you would adjust those based, you would either put more of those shims on or take shims off. I'm not going to mess with the shims because I figured, my great-grandparents were running this thing for years and years and years. I imagine they had it dialed in to where it was cutting perfectly fine. So I'm not going to mess with that. I just going to have to replace some teeth or sickles. I just call them teeth, but they're whatever. So they cut the frickin' hay. So, but to find the book, that's just what I'm so happy about. I mean, the book has been pretty sad condition, but even if it just gives me, I got to go through it, obviously. I tried to outside, but wearing big gloves and then wind, it just kept messing it up, so it was just getting irritating. So it's got to be done here in the shop or up at the house once it airs out. So, but to fucking find that book, that's so even though it is in pretty rough shape, but if I could maybe get, you're not going to find no website, so I'm not even going to think of that, but if I could just find a make and a model number off that book, it would tell me what I'm dealing with. And then I could go online through Google or maybe some kind of a history antique website and maybe find a new version of that, maybe one that somebody has copied and is selling them on like eBay or something. I don't have any books for this besides that one, but I did order a book for the exhaust lift on that tractor, but I don't think it didn't have that part number on it. It didn't even show the exhaust, so I'm kind of wondering if maybe the exhaust doesn't go with that, but maybe not. I don't know. So I don't know, it doesn't really matter because either way it's a good thing because that book has parts in it, part numbers to basically rebuild this if I need to replace tines or replace teeth, you know, whatever. So it'll be a good find. It'll be a good find. It'll be a good book, you know, if I can find a new one online somewhere, that would be a lot better because then I'd be able to at least have all my pages. But it looks like the mice have gotten a hold of it throughout the years and ripped a page or two and taken a page or two with them to make their fucking nests. And yeah, I wasn't really even trying to look for the book because I figured, the book is long gone. Who knows where these damn books end up at? But there was like a little shelf. Oh, it's just like it'd be like a little table almost for like a kid, you know, but it was made out of wood. It was real low to the ground. And then there was a shelf underneath it. And I figured, I'll look through that shelf. Maybe I'll find some extra parts. See, what I'm looking for are more of these little mashy pins. Because I know I'm going to have to, if I replace a tine or a sickle, I'm going to need those little mashy things to put it all back together. So I got to find that. Well, maybe I can find it through the parts book and maybe just be able to find them online. But where was I going with this now? God damn it, brain dead. So, but yeah, I don't know. It'll be. It's a good thing. It's I don't know what else to say. I just, like I said, I wasn't really expecting to find that book. Because like I said, I was just looking through that shelf just to see if I could find some extra parts for the mower. And then I looked down, I looked more to the left, and I was like, oh, there's a book laying here. I didn't think nothing of it. I figured it was maybe just a book or something else. I grabbed it, I took it out of the shelf, I unfolded it, and this is what I seen. This is what showed up in my face. Oh, it's not going to show good up on the camera. But right here is the safety shield for the belt drive on the back. That's the shield. Long since been deleted because I guess the great-grandparents were sick and tired of dealing with it when they had to change the belt all the time. So, and I was like, no freaking way. I was speechless for about a good 10 minutes because I just found something that actually could be useful to help restoring this thing a little bit. I'm not going to make it show quality, but it's fixing what is broken, getting it on the tractor, running it, letting the grass go through, it'll shine everything up real nice. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go in and I'm just going to go get all kinds of fat. I'm just going to go eat all kinds of fucking junk food. You know what? I deserve it. I found history. Found gold. Something the great-grandparents owned. Especially something that my great-grandpa, he's the one that did most of the haying, I imagine. He was flipping through those pages just like I was trying to do when I was at the farm. Flipping through those pages looking for fucking part numbers. And he even wrote one down. There's a part number written down on there. I don't know if he was going to order that or if he did already. And I don't know. But there's his handwriting in there. So, it's just, yeah. It's kind of hard to think that, hey, at one time, the great-grandparents went through that very same book to find parts to fix this. So, and here I am now doing it. I don't think I'll find that exhaust valve kit in there, because I think technically that would be part of that exhaust valve, or that exhaust cylinder. But the book I have doesn't really show anything. It just shows the fucking cylinder, and that's about it. And the hoses. It doesn't really show the exhaust valve. So it's kind of a pointless book, but it doesn't hurt to have it anyway. But I need to try to find a copy, or original copy, or a copy of that one now. But I need a part number, or I need a make and a model of this, so then I know what the hell I'm dealing with. So, but unfortunately, I'm not going to go through it for a couple of days, just because, you know, it smells like rat piss and it stinks. So I'll let it sit here in the shop, air out, and come back in a couple of days and start flipping through it. I might even have to wear smaller gloves or something. I don't know. I got some rubber gloves that, you know, technically doctors would, well, they're not meant for doctors, but, you know, they're small, like what doctors would wear. So I got some of those laying around. I used to wear them when I changed oils and all and stuff, but they never really last. So, but yeah, it's I'm speechless, because I didn't think I'd ever find something that actually is important to find, and I figured it would have gotten lost, or my uncle would have thrown it away, never thinking we'd ever use it again. Or the rats would have gotten to it. And the rats were getting to it, because there is one page that's ripped. So, and I think I'm also missing a couple of pages, but I can't find them. So I figured the rats probably took off with them and made their nest out of it. And, well, you're never going to find them now. So, but yeah, one day me and my uncle, we're going to go through that building. We're just going to take everything out, even though it is falling in. I risked a lot of things to try to get even just this out, and in that box, and in that book. So, but, and then I also found, I'm not 100% sure what they're called, but I think it's part of a starter. I think they call it the drive. I think it's the part that spins in the starter, and it engages with the flywheel on the tractor, and that's what spins the tractor over. I think I found a brand new one, original, still in the box. It looks brand new. It looks like it hasn't been used a freaking day in its life. So, don't know if that's for the little tractor. I'm guessing so, because just that little building was meant for that tractor. So, everything that, you know, everything that's in there is supposed to be for just that little tractor. So, yeah, I just want to take everything out, everything that we can salvage, even if we don't ever use it, just take it out. And then tear the building down, have a new one built in its place with power, and then put everything back in it again, and put it kind of back to how Grandpa had it. So, but it'll never be exact, but it'll be close enough, I guess. So, but yeah, so that's just, yeah, I can't wait to go through that, but it needs to air out for a couple of days. So, but yeah, we'll come back, and I gotta, take this off at some point, lay it on the ground or something, because I'm not gonna leave it on the wheeler, but I will for tonight. I'm not gonna play with it. And it'll stay here. I'll go through it, clean it with some compressed air, and then move everything back and forth by hand, see if it'll move, and then oil it up. And then, I guess, see right here, I don't know what any of this does. You got two of them laying here. I mean, I'm guessing they're spacers. They kind of line up to each other pretty much. So I'm guessing they're spacers. You know, a little loose. Probably needs to be tightened. So, but, yeah. So there we go. More shit found for the Farmall A and the little cutter. So, not a very big cutter, but like I said, the they had a lot of sickle sections because they cut a lot of hay back in the day. If I remember correctly, he did half of our field because the other half was meant to be pasture ground. And then he did a lot of roadside ditches with it. And then I believe that field that's over by the cemetery here, he used to cut that with this. But then the old timer took over once they retired, and then now the young guy's doing it. So, but yeah. So, yeah, it would be kind of interesting to cut some hay with this, but I don't plan on cutting all the hay like this. I'm just going to do a little bit here and there just for fun, and cut areas that the young guy won't cut, but I know that could be cut, like along the fence line and down where the pond is at and down by the junk pile. I could be cutting all that for hay. And then weed control. So, because I kind of want to go through the ex-mayor's field this summer. Instead of going there and spraying with chemicals, just go through there with this thing and just knock them all down. So he already gave us the green light to go ahead and put our cows on there again this year, because I went and talked to him just a little while ago, because I went and took a load of tree branches to the junk pile and he was out mowing. So I figured I'll flag him down and talk to him. So we're good to go on that for this year. So yeah, anyways guys, I'm going to take off. I want to go in, have something to eat, and take a shower, because I'm definitely going to need it now after this. And I need a shave too, getting a little rough. So yeah, I guess that's it. So anyways guys, I'm going to take off. So I guess have a good day and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching guys. Take her easy.